Maybe if I was to kill the most important people in your life, everyone who's ever meant anything, maybe then I'd listen to you. Because maybe then you'd have some idea how I feel.
It's an interesting theory, but I'm afraid you're a little late to put it to the test. Everyone you're talking about has already been killed.
Sup kids, it's Uncle SM, back with another video, and today is a pretty special video, at least to me, is because we're going to be talking about Kakashi Hatake, my favorite Naruto character, and one of my favorite fictional characters in general. And Kakashi is one of the most popular Naruto characters, a lot of people love him, and I just wanted to express why I loved him so much. And you know, the whole trope of sad anime backstories is there, and I think my favorite backstory it has to be Kakashi. Maybe Nami, but that's a whole different series, so it doesn't really even matter. But he has to go through the fact that his father killed himself because he received so much backlash for doing something very moral and pretty justified. Even though he had good intentions, the village didn't see that he was doing the right thing. They saw that he failed the mission, and they lashed out at him. And because of this, Kakashi sort of develops this ideology that duty should be valued above emotion or ethics, and he becomes he becomes sort of an introvert, and obviously because he's been through so much just as a kid. He's introduced to Team Minato, and first of all, he really doesn't mess with anyone of them, and eventually he gets over and starts liking Rin and Minato, but Obito he still can't stand because Obito is sort of embodying what his father really represents and believed in, this doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do sort of mentality, and he really just couldn't stand that. But eventually Kakashi gets over it and accepts even Obito. But just when things seem to be getting a little bit better for Kakashi, he has to go through the fact that he believes he caused Obito's death. Just when he starts to gain a little bit of hope, he is shattered. And at his dying breath, quote unquote dying really, but Obito basically promises him to protect Rin and save her no matter what. And Kakashi becomes a very different person, and he makes that promise, but fate had different plans, and Rin dies by Kakashi's hands. And you know, it wasn't his fault and whatever, but it didn't matter. He failed a promise to Obito. At this point, Kakashi has lost Obito, Rin, and his father. The only person he had left was Minato. But Minato also leaves him, and this is his horrifying past. You fast forward to the present, Kakashi is now a Jonin and he's a mentor. He never accepted a team before Team 7. And I want to talk about what Team 7 represents to Kakashi, and you know, the whole thing of, you know, sort of reincarnation or passing down generation after is very common in Naruto, and this is another case of that. Obviously Naruto, being this aloof idealistic kid, basically mimicking Obito, and then Sasuke being this kid who's had such a hard life, being Kakashi, and Rin being Sakura. And he sees this, what I interpreted as sort of a second chance. He's gonna get it right. He's gonna guide these students of his to a much better life than what he has been through. But again, Kakashi fails to mentor these kids pretty poorly. Tsunade goes with Sakura, and Sasuke falls into the grasp of Orochimaru. And Kakashi was still desperately trying to save this Kakashi of this generation. He even took out of his way to train Sasuke in the tuning exams so that he could gain a bit of morale. But Sasuke ends up failing to beat Gaara again. Even worse is that Naruto beats him, his sort of rival and sort of adversary. And the person Sasuke was trying to overcome, Itachi, is still far and away ahead of him. Naruto starts to train with Jiraiya, and that whole time Kakashi again failed even as a mentor. And I think it's really tough to see that he just can't seem to get anything right, and he's basically living a futile existence. He's very much a great prodigy. He had the best stats in the game, not game, anime and manga of all time. Well, maybe for, Madara and Hashirama would have a few words, but, So he's a very capable ninja, but you see him as just a jonin. He could easily probably been Hokage or a Sannin type or some other title. But he never pursues that because he sees no value in himself. Obito giving him the Sharingan is a lot of trust that he put into Kakashi, and basically giving him everything on his dying breath. Well, and Kakashi promising to protect Rin, he still failed that. Kakashi, it just can't get over his past, especially since there is physical evidence of that, like literally inside of him. And the Mangekyo, even worse, that it awakened when he killed Rin. I think what I really love and appreciate about Kakashi is that in the Naruto verse, there's a lot of sort of morally gray villains and characters that you see who's been through so much that you sort of understand why they're doing what they do. But Kakashi, who probably had one of the worst fates of any shinobi, he still didn't turn evil or try to take over the world or try to drastically change it to fit his ideal outcome. He simply gave up, which may not be the most theatrical of decisions or more anime-like, but sadly it's a very real one. When life keeps pushing him down, he finally gives up. He just can't get out of this depression because no matter what he tries, no matter what he does, he just keeps falling down. He only lives to try to protect this village, and the only way he can do that is with his Sharingan. He becomes known as the Copy Ninja because of the use of his Sharingan, which is constantly reminding him the loss of Obito and Rin. Kakashi meeting Obito in the 4th grade Shinobi War was probably one of the hardest thing for him, is that he saw his best friend Obito, this idealistic kid who was trying to make the world a better place, is now turned into a cynical, bitter tyrant trying to destroy the same world he was trying to protect. It's Obito that basically pulls Kakashi out of this hole. At his dying breath, Obito lets Kakashi know that it's okay. Whatever happened in the past, you should accept that and move on, look forward to your future. And finally, after all this, Kakashi seems to have a bit of closure. Obito fully forgives him for everything. Kakashi receives, the Kamui Mangekyo Sharingans from the dead and all that jazz, but Obito forgives him, and Kakashi can finally look forward to his future and accept his past. His sad eye starts to regain a bit of content. The lesson I learned from Kakashi is that life's hard sometimes, but you gotta keep going, and your past shouldn't be something that brings you down or holds you back, but you should embrace it and accept it. And that's why I love Kakashi.